save it or do I want to get something else?
Right.
So
Right. And like you were talking about how like movies definitely influence what's going to be, kind of an iconic car, a classic car just gets, because it was in this such and such movie. I mean, the DeLorean is already highly sought after. It's already, hard to find an original. You can currently get new ones, which right now, are probably just worth their regular market value.
right.
And but you got to imagine that no matter what, if you were to buy a DeLorean now, it's definitely going up in value. I mean, personally, I would say there's no getting around that the DeLorean is just going to be a classic car because I mean, honestly, because Back to the Future was such a big scandal in the '80s with John DeLorean
Yeah.
and all that, and they even just did a movie about John DeLorean recently as well.
Oh,
So
did
like
they?
that's yeah, very interesting movie, very interesting, very much about the man and not so much about the car.
Right.
And they brought in parts of the about the car, but it wasn't
Right. Right.
car
Well, I
enough
mean,
for me to really enjoy it. But
he
John
had
DeLorean
a
was interesting.
he had more of a history with other vehicles and like manufacturers than he did with his because he worked with what was it I can't remember. He
He
worked with GM, right? Wasn't it?
he I think GM and Chrysler.
Pontiac. I think it
He
was
was
Pontiac.
it was Pontiac. It was Pontiac. That's correct because he built the GTO. He was
Right.
responsible for designing the GTO.
Right. So I mean,
So like I'm
he had a history well before he even started thinking about
right.
the DeLorean. So
Yeah, no, I mean he was making good cars. It does kind of highlight the fact that what the car was that John DeLorean wanted to make and the car that came to market just were nothing alike
Mhm.
whatsoever
Right.
because of budget constraints. He just couldn't make the car that he wanted to bring to market. He just didn't have
Yeah.
the money to do it, and so he got something completely
But
different and different from what he wanted.
he had people from this company, he had people from this company, he had people from this company, and they all came together and they tried to work on something, but they wouldn't work together to make it. And he kept going over budget on the car, kept going over budget, and
Right,
basically basically he was stealing from his own company to pay people back so he could steal so he can get more money from them. You know what I mean?
right.
It was he was just having a bad time, and then the car company went under right after that. So, well, I
Right.
mean, he got arrested, but after that, the car company went under.
Yeah, but so it's a safe. That's one of those things where it's a safe bet, but it's a heavy bet, and you you have to bet it early because I
Right?
mean,
Yeah.
if you're buying a DeLorean, and it's not an original, it's still pretty expensive. They're going for about $35,000 brand new,
Hmm.
for like the base models, and then if you're looking at a nice clean DeLorean, those things are 60K.
Right.
I've
Yeah.
seen them
I
all over
mean,
the place. I mean, you can find junkers out there still, but
I've seen ones that don't run for 7. So I mean,
yeah. DeLorean, original with all original problems. You're like, oh no,
yeah.
they're just. I mean, they are money pits too,
Hmm.
But with the new manufactured cars that are coming out, those have all the issues
Right.
hammered out of them,
Right.
and,
Right. Yeah.
and so I
And
mean,
that's
I
the
don't know.
thing.
That would be what.
That's the thing because you got those guys who jumped on those older cars way early.
Hmm.
Some of them kept them from their childhood. Some of them bought them in these 60s and 70s muscle cars. Some of them bought them in the 80s. Some of them bought them in the early 90s when they were still cheap. And now you can't find a good one for a decent price. They were picking them up for 4 and 5 grand, and
Right.
they were picking them up for nothing. And so I'm wondering what cars that are out now are going to be something like those in the future. I mean, obviously, everyone's going
Right.
to say Mustangs and Camaros and Corvettes,